What's going on, YouTube? Today we are going to make a couple meals for meal prep. I have a 4-day trip starting tomorrow, and then I'm gone for the next 5 days, and then I have another 2-day trip. So we're going to meal prep a little bit. Today what we're going to be making, we're going to do some basic chicken breasts and broccoli, and we're also going to be making some breakfast tacos, and I'm even thinking some protein pancakes. So we're going to get a good mix of everything going on here. So sit tight and let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to start making tonight is going to be the breakfast tacos because they take the least amount of time. Well, maybe. Either way, breakfast. First meal of the day, we're going to make that first. So what we're going to do, we're going to need a couple different things. Number one, we're going to need an onion. You need a cutting board. You need a knife, and rule number one with knives, you always sharpen it first. In this case, I'm honing the knife, I am not sharpening the knife, but you keep a sharp edge on it, and it'll serve you for a very long time. Highly recommend doing that. Doesn't take long. So, we've got our onion, we've got our knife. I'm going to show you a little pro tip here on how to make it, I'm going to move you around, on how to make it so your cutting board doesn't slide around everywhere all the time. And the easiest way to do that is to take a paper towel and get it wet. You get the paper towel wet, open it up. I'll show you this here. So you open it up and you lay it on the counter in preferably a way that actually works. I'm doing this with one hand, so it's taking a little longer, my apologies. And you put the cutting board down on it, and now it doesn't move, which is great. Highly recommend doing that. So let's get started chopping. Alright guys, the next step in this process is we need to whip up the eggs. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm using egg whites, but I'm doing it out of full eggs because it's cheaper. So I've got 10 eggs right here. This is going to be making, like I said, 8 tacos, so it'll average out. In any case, crack the eggs, and I'm sure you all know how to separate the yolk from the egg itself, or from the albumin, that is. Keep your yolk together, and we're throwing away the rest because I don't have a use for it right now. If I was making deviled eggs or something, maybe, but I'm not. It's a little slimy. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of eggs at this place. We don't have chickens or anything, although I would love to have some one day. But we are buying eggs by the 5 dozen because when you're eating healthy, it's a good source of protein and healthy fats. Lots of protein in eggs. Alright. I should probably take out the trash soon because it's getting a little full. So, you may be wondering, why did you put it in the blender, Ryan? Well, that's primarily because it's faster to whip them up, and it gets it more... Ooh, that was a terrible break. I am sorry. That looks horrendous. Terrible breakup. We're all very sad. But you may be asking, why, Ryan, why are you putting it in a blender? It is much faster to whip them up in a blender, especially if your blender has one of those lovely whipping functions. And mine does. Yay, Blendtec. Shout out to Blendtec. Alright. Separate the yolk. Nice clean separation. Okay, so 10 eggs down. Thankfully no shells in the mix. What we're going to do now, put the lid on. We're going to take it over here, and we're going to whip it up with an egg. Man, that's so hard to do. And just like that, we're done. Look at that, whipped eggs, 10 eggs right there. So, next up. Alright guys, next up on the itinerary, we are going to fry up some of that Canadian bacon. Now, that Canadian bacon I cut was a whopping 23.6 ounces. Now, the Canadian bacon that you normally see in the store is pre-sliced, and it's great and all, but we want them in smaller pieces for this recipe. I personally bought unsliced Canadian bacon because it was cheaper. So, I'm going to now fry some of this up, and then we'll continue from there. So, here we go. What you want to do when you not necessarily fry it up, but when you start browning the bacon, what you want to do is set your pan to medium-high heat. And what I'm going to do is hit it with a little bit of this non-stick coconut oil cooking spray. Got it at King Soopers. If you don't know King Soopers, it's a derivative of Kroger, and most people know Kroger. So, I'm going to hit that, some of there, and that should be about good. And let the pan heat up. When the pan heats up, we're going to throw some of this in there and let it sizzle. Ooh, listen to that baby sizzle. Now, I probably put a little too much in the pan for what we're doing, but whatever. We live, we learn, we continue to eat. Life is good. I'm just going to let this brown up. And when it's all browned and nicely warmed and toasty, then we're going to throw it back into the bowl and get started on cooking the eggs themselves. Or maybe we'll just do the eggs in this. I don't know yet. We'll see. You know what I just realized? We should probably throw in some of that onion that we chopped earlier. So, lo and behold, 1 white onion. I need a bigger pan. This is getting ridiculous. Alright, so in addition to white onion, I have a chopped and previously frozen jalapeno, which adds a little bit of kick to it. It makes the breakfast burritos really nice. I don't know if you like jalapeno or not, but I do, and, well, this is my treat. So, you can always omit that if you want. I have the remnants of a red bell pepper that I'm also going to throw in here. And let all of this cook up. Now, that's not a lot of jalapeno, that's not a lot of red bell pepper, but every little bit counts and it's going to be delicious. So we're just going to mix all of that in. Ooh, listen to that sizzling. I love it, I love it. This is a mess already. What's cooking if you don't make a mess, right? In hindsight, just with the sheer volume of this, I probably should have cooked it in the cast iron skillet, but, well, you live and you learn, right? I seem to be making a lot of mistakes in this video. That's okay! We're still going to make this, and it's still going to be delightful. It might just take a little longer to cook. So, because we're going to be cooking these again in either the microwave, or the Hot Logic, or the oven on the plane, or whatever, because we're going to be cooking them again, I'm not cooking it all the way through. Now, this bacon is ready to eat as is, but nobody likes to eat cold bacon. I just wanted to make it a little bit crispy. So, what we're going to do is dump it back into the bowl very carefully and not make a mess, because Ryan's really good at that, making a mess. Here we go. So we're dumping all this back into the bowl. Nice little medley. Now, the burner is still on, and we are still going to use it, because now that we have that all done, save that face. That's pretty good. Okay, so burner's still on, pan is still hot. We take our previously whipped eggs, behold. It's even got some nice little egg frost on, and start cooking it. That looked gross. Nothing wrong with a little egg albumin, guys. Especially if it's foamy. That's what happens when you run eggs. So, what I like to do with this, I like to take a little bit of salt-free seasoning. This one, in case, is Mrs. Dash onion and herb, and I am going to season my eggs with that. See how this turns out. I don't know. I've never actually done that before. I just like to say that I have. Give it a nice healthy dose there. That's probably good. We're going to turn the heat up. Well, actually, no, the heat's up pretty high. We're good. So, turn the heat up there and continue to scramble our egg whites, our liquid albumin. Props to you if you knew what albumin was. Most people don't. You say egg white, they know egg white. You say albumin, they're like, what? we are just scrambling this up. Now I know that all the chefs out there are going to completely rip me a new one for not cooking my eggs on a low heat like scrambled eggs are supposed to be. But we're doing this for the sake of time because we have 2 other meals coming up. And it is already 9:20 p.m. and I have to get up at 5. So, I probably shouldn't be doing this anyway. But I'm going to because I like to eat. Scrambling up the eggs. Those are actually looking really good. Now the Canadian bacon has a little bit of salt in it, a fair amount of salt actually. So I'm not actually salting the eggs. I might throw some pepper in. Actually, a little pepper in there might be pretty good, but I'll do that after the fact. This is going to be a high protein and relatively everything. But is that a bad thing? I mean, everybody likes bacon. Bacon's practically a vegetable, right? Okay, eggs are scrambled and ready to go. Turn the burner off because we're done with it. And now is the fun part, the dish up. Here we go. So what we're going to be doing now is we are starting the dish up. And the easiest way to go about this is just to set it up and lay it all out. I have laid this out on tin foil here. I've got 8 sheets of tin foil because I have 8 carb smart tortillas, carb balanced tortillas, whatever. 4 grams net carbs, there's a ton of fiber in these. Those are gonna go great with your meal. So we're going to take that, throw a tortilla on it, nice and easy, right? And we take our spoon and we scoop them. Let's do this first. So we're gonna scoop some of this on here, get a nice heaping helpful, because we like our meats. I'm gonna do 2 scoopfuls because reasons. I probably should have made more eggs at this point, but whatever. It's fine. Like I said, it's probably more meat than eggs, but that's okay. More bacon. Alright, so I've got that. Now, the one thing that I'm going to do in addition to this, to bind it all together, because these foods are very hot, you can see the steam coming off of it, I have some Kraft fat-free cheddar cheese. Now that's going to help bind the tacos together. And I've heard this from a guy on YouTube named Remington James. He was the one that recommended this, so I've been using it. And it's actually pretty good. So, the serving size in here, we've got 7 servings per bag. We've got 8 tortillas, so I'm going to go a little bit more than that, and I'm just going to guesstimate, because, well, I mean, we can kind of estimate it based on the entire thing. So, a little bit in there, bind the taco together, and just like that, we are going to have the fun part here of folding it up. Now this is also the hard part here. We're going to fold it up, like that. This might actually be better as a burrito. Either that or I just really suck at making tacos with it. So, folding it up, and we have a breakfast taco burrito thing. Put that off to the side, go on to the next one. Here we go. Okay guys, we have made our 8 breakfast tacos, and I will tell you the macro breakdown for each one because I know you all are so interested in that. Can't get enough of this Canadian bacon. Okay. Alright guys, so you wanted to know the breakdown of each individual taco. So, each one is, it made 8 servings, right? 8 tacos. And each one is 295 calories. Not bad. Not bad for a taco, especially a healthy one. 22.8 grams of carbs, 7.8 grams of fat, not bad, and 35.7 grams of protein. I'd say that's pretty good. Not bad at all. So, that is our macro breakdown for our breakfast tacos. Now on to the next recipe. guys, the next thing that we are going to prep today, I have nearly 5 pounds, 4.91 pounds of boneless skinless chicken breast. Now, we're going to start chopping that up. I'm going to stick it in this large bowl in about roughly an inch long pieces. And we are going to give it a little marinade, set it in the fridge, and then while it's in the fridge, we're going to cook up the next thing, because that's how we do it at the same time. So, we will, let's get to chopping, shall we? Okay guys, the next thing that we are going to prep today, I have nearly 5 pounds, 4.91 pounds of boneless skinless chicken breast. Now, we're going to start chopping that up. I'm going to stick it in this large bowl in about roughly an inch long pieces. And we are going to give it a little marinade, set it in the fridge, and then while it's in the fridge, we're going to cook up the next thing, because that's how we do it. We save time here. So, we will, let's get to chopping, shall we?
I personally like to wear gloves, and the reason I like to do that is because, well, I'm dealing with raw chicken. That's not always fun. So we're going to take these out. I'm going to put all 6 breasts down here. Now, if you'll notice, there is a nice chunk of gristle on some of these. Let's throw that out because we don't need it. So there's a sizable amount of fat on these. What I like to do, actually I'm just going to throw them in the bowl here until they're done. What I like to do with chicken especially, well I do it with anything, but with chicken especially, is I like to trim off the fat. So like with this one here, we have a decent amount of fat, and I'm just going to slice it away. Get our chicken nice and lean. Some people use scissors or meat shears. I just use a standard knife. And I'm not too worried about losing pieces of chicken, especially if they're super bristly. I don't know if you are or aren't, but it's all personal preference. I'm not too worried about it, so I'm just going to cut it out. Alright. Trim off some of that. And that side's still a little fatty, but that's okay. We're going to get rid of it. Okay. Alright, chopping time. So what I like to do is when I chop chicken, and a lot of people, they do theirs in like crock pots or whatever, because it does save a lot of time. I won't deny that. But I'm feeling more chicken slices. So I cut them in about inch long segments, maybe slightly less than, maybe slightly more than, but inch long segments, and then I take those segments and I cube them.
Okay guys, so we're going to make a little bit of a marinade, and it's actually more of a seasoning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, just for measurement purposes. Normally I wouldn't measure this, but I'm making a recipe video, so that seems like a good idea to do. Alright, tablespoon of olive oil. Beautiful. And what I've got here is some delightful Madras curry. Came in a bag, I put it in a mason jar. So, I'm going to use that. I don't know if you like curry. Most people, they're kind of iffy. I didn't at first, but I do now. So what I'm going to do is just use the rest of it. Because we have a lot of chicken. Okay. Perfect. Madras curry. And we're going to mix it up. Again, this is why you wear gloves. Some nice, delightful curried chicken. Mix it all up, get it all together. And I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to bake it this time. Last time I pan fried it, I think baking it will work just as well. What do you think? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, that looks pretty evenly distributed. And distributed. God, put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
So, like I said, why you wear gloves. Makes a huge difference. So, let's pull out a baking sheet and we will get this started. So what we're going to do here is we are going to preheat our oven. We're going to go bake, and I'm going to say 375. And we'll start that preheating. Now, I probably shouldn't have done this in a white bowl because this curry powder stains everything. This used to be somewhat see-through, and it's not anymore. So, we'll take this just like that. Nope, almost just like that. A little bit to go. That's okay. We'll spread it out. You want it spread out fairly evenly. If you're asking what this this particular baking mat thing that I've got here is, it is a silicone baking mat. I bought them in a pack from Costco. Costco's my favorite thing ever. And we're spreading this out, by the way, if you could not tell. And it is awesome to bake on. It makes cleanup so much easier. They're dishwasher safe too. Okay. And I think let's put that there. I think that's pretty good. So now what we'll do is we'll wait for that to preheat, and then we'll pop it in for about, we'll start it off with 20 minutes, I think. And then we'll go from there. So we'll see you in a moment. Guys, our oven is preheated. We're taking our chicken and toss it in. Man, that was complicated. Set a timer here for 20 minutes. And let's get started on making Kodiak cakes. Now these Kodiak cakes are, they're high protein pancakes, and they are very, very good. I have them in a Ziploc bag because I mistakenly opened the bag the wrong way the last time. So what we're going to need for this recipe, I'm feeling some almond extract because that's always delightful. I like to sweeten it with a little bit of liquid stevia, however you want to pronounce it. Now the recipe calls for, this is going to be really difficult, are you ready? A cup, I'm probably going to use this whole bag truthfully, but I don't know how much is in it. So, a cup of Kodiak cake mix. So let's see, we've got 1 cup. 2 cup. This might actually be 3 cups. I think it is. Yeah, I'm going to call that 3 cups. So, for a handful of flapjacks. Flapjacks? Who calls them flapjacks anymore? Alright. We have 3 cups of Kodiak cake mix. Now, what we're going to do is 3 cups of water. Alright, we got 3 cups of water in here, and we'll pour that in. Ooh, yummy. Alright, and grab a whisk. I hope everybody has at least one of those. And we'll just start whisking away. Now this recipe is actually really basic and very easy. I wonder if... No, I'm not going to do that this time. Next time I might add in some protein powder. I don't know. We'll see. Make them super protein pancakes. This is a little higher in carb. I mean, it's pancakes. But they are really, really good. Okay. Scrape that up, get all the gunk off the bottom. It does look to be pretty damn good. I'm excited for this. Are you? Okay. So that looks to be relatively mixed up. So what I'm going to do now is put in a dash of almond. I think that's good. There we go. Alright, so a little bit of almond extract. And because they are kind of bland and I don't eat them with syrup when I'm away, do a shot of that. I'll do 3 of those in the recipe. Oh, you know what else I forgot to grab that we're going to want for this? Ground cinnamon. Makes a world of difference, and I like to go heavy on the cinnamon. I love me some cinnamon. In fact, you can probably tell I'm almost out of it. All right. Once again, whisk that together. God, that looks good. It smells like French toast. Haven't put an egg in there, or almond milk. First things first, we gotta preheat the pan. I probably should have just left it preheated. Yes, this is the same pan that I cooked, what did I just make? Tacos in. Washed it, cleaned it, yada yada. It's always a good idea to do your cleaning with your cooking because it saves so much time in the end. So, what we're going to do here is, again, hit it, coconut oil spray. You might be able to hear some of the water at the bottom of the pan sizzle. Yeah. So, hit it with some coconut oil spray. And once that gets nice and toasty, then I will scoop up some of this batter and put it on there. I tend to make kind of larger flapjacks, pancakes, whatever you want to call them. But you don't have to. You can make them smaller if you want. This recipe, I should probably look it up because I don't have it plugged into my FitnessPal and I threw away the box. So I can't scan it. But this recipe is delightful. And it says it makes like 3 4-inch flapjacks or something like that. Ooh, got it. And so it's we're gonna do that, and I'll get back to you when we are done frying up these pancakes. I assume everybody here knows how to make pancakes, so it's not gonna be a big deal there. But we'll finish that up as soon as we're done frying it up. All right, guys, welcome back. I have finished making the Kodiak cake pancakes. They are delicious. It made 11 pancakes about yay big. This is a quart-sized Ziploc bag. You might be asking yourself, why, Ryan, why are you putting pancakes and food in Ziploc bags? And the answer to that is because it takes up so much less space in my lunchbox. If I'm packing for a 4-day trip, you're gonna want to put things in Ziploc bags and bring only 1, maybe 2 at most Tupperware containers. We have a couple of these fun glass containers. They are oven safe, but it's not. But, so if we're making food on the plane, then we can actually cook our food right then and there. If not, then you gotta hope that they have aluminum tins left over from whatever was in first class. So I put everything in Ziploc bags. I have, as I showed you in a previous video, a little silicone like bowl type thing, and I put everything in Ziploc bags. That little silicone bowl will go right into my Hot Logic, no problem, and cook all my food in that. And that's usually what I do for layovers and such. So occasionally sit time. So in any case, while you were gone, I made 11 pancakes. I bagged them up 2 at a time, and ate one because I was hungry. I've got a ridiculous amount of broccoli cooking. What is that? Let's see. That is 52 ounces of broccoli. That's 3 pounds and 4 ounces of good, wholehearted broccoli florets. They're delightful. I've got them boiling in the stove right here. The chicken is taking longer than I thought. I put it in for the original 20, not anywhere near done. An extra 10, still not done. In fact, it was like a lot of the water had leached out of the chicken, which I guess is a good thing. But it was not ready yet. So I threw it in for another 15. We got 4 minutes and 14 minutes left on that. Once that's done, then we'll bring it out here, set it down, slice it open, make sure that it's completely, thoroughly cooked, and we'll wait for the broccoli to boil. When the broccoli starts boiling, then we'll strain that out, season it a little bit with probably some of those salt-free seasonings, and bag it all up. Measure it out with our food scale, which again, I recommend that everybody get one. They are amazing. So we'll measure everything out in our food scale, put them in Ziploc bags, and I'll show you the finished product once we're all through with that. Alright guys, we've got everything bagged up. We have it all in the fridge. I also forgot to mention that when packing for a 4-day trip, these are amazing. The macros on it are fantastic. I mean, the highest amount of calories in any one of these packages is the hickory smoked at 110, and there's still 19 grams of protein. So that's pretty damn good if you ask me. So I'm going to be packing those as well, because I like to eat. The last thing that we're going to be making, let's see, we've made pancakes, we have made chicken and broccoli, we have made, what else did we make? Oh yeah, breakfast tacos, burritos, baracos, whatever you want to call them. The last thing that we're going to make is another breakfasty item. I like to make oatmeal. Right now I've got a giant
giant bag of Bob's Red Mill quick cooking steel cut oats. And they're pretty good. Now, the serving size on this is a 1/4 cup. Fancy that, I have a 1/4 cup measurement here. Now, again, I like to put them in Ziploc bags. Takes up less space, nice and easy, no big deal. So, we're gonna take a scoop full of that. Oatmeal. Bag. Complicated. But in addition to that, we're going to level it up a little bit. And we're going to throw in a tablespoon, which is half a serving, of powdered peanut butter. PB Fit, PB2, whatever you have on hand, it works really well. Keeps the protein content a little bit higher, gives it a nice flavor, and best of all, the fat content is super low. So, we're gonna throw a tablespoon of that into here. And last but not least, my personal favorite, more cinnamon, because reasons. So we just take that, tap it on there a couple times, get a nice little dosing. And we're going to do that, think of the little space that takes up. And we're going to do that 4 times. Like I said, it's a 4-day trip, so having oatmeal every morning. I like to take my oatmeal and mix it with some protein powder. I do that pretty frequently, actually. So you get a good amount of protein, a little bit of fat. Sometimes I make it with milk instead of water. So you get a little bit of fat, you get a little bit of protein, you get a little bit of carb. It's a great, well-rounded meal, actually. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll get back to you. Thanks. Okay, I know a couple of you are gonna be asking, does Ryan store his protein powder in Ziploc bags? And I used to. The answer to that is no, I don't anymore. And the reason behind that is because Ziploc bags, as far as powders go, they get messy when you're trying to pour it into a shaker bottle. So what I actually found it at GNC here. I found a cool little device that GNC makes that you get a blender bottle and you get a little attachment for it. So I store my protein powder in these little attachments, and it's really easy. If I can open it, really easy. So, protein powder, and I just put a scoop in each one. Now they make them in different sizes. Actually, I'll show you the different sizes. So, here we go. Okay, so we've got a small, which is generally reserved for like vitamins or BCAAs or pills or whatever. Then we got a slightly larger, which is more for powders. And the third one is the biggest of them all. I put 2 scoops of protein, I put protein powder in all of these, but I put 2 scoops in the big one and 1 in the other 2. It is a tight squeeze in the tiniest, but it works. So what I do generally, it came, as I recall, it came with 2 with the bottle. And I went and bought 2 expansion packs, which came with the bigger ones, and so I can pretty much, and each one of them, they're nesting, as you can tell, nice and clip-on, super easily. And lo and behold, I have the protein power of Gandalf. This thing's huge. Doesn't really fit in your suitcase this way, though. But I only do like 4-day trips, so I take roughly 4. Sometimes I'll bump it up if I'm feeling really ambitious, and I will do. I used to take them all, but I don't have this room in my suitcase anymore. So I'm going to fill up 4 of those lovely little containers. I might actually do 5. I'm gonna do 5 and leave the 3 big ones back here. And what I used to do, those little like Jello shot cup things, the ones that have. I actually have. Nope, that's an ice tray. Never mind. So the ones that have this fun little like lid type thing on it, just clip it on. Those actually, you can fit 4 of those right inside here and rest it on top of the ball, and that ball acts as a spring and pushes it up against the roof of this, so it never comes apart, which is awesome. You fit 4 of them in there, screw it on tight, and you've got yourself some pre-workouts if you wanted to do that, or BCAAs, or creatine, or whatever, supplements, and you can put it all in there. This is a great tool to have. I usually fill up these with protein powder and then stick them in the oatmeal that I make. So I'm gonna fill this up and we'll call it a day shortly. Not to mention, one cool thing about this is that you don't have to worry about which lid is gonna match which one. They all are the same size.
So if you happen to misplace one lid, or not misplace it, but if you happen to think you put it on the wrong one, and then don't worry about it, it'll fit. Okay, so I have that all packed up, and we've got this going right here. You know what, I'm gonna put a scoop of protein powder in my shaker bottle, because I never seem to do that. I always put it in food, but I never seem to take it as a shake unless I'm at home. And I mix it in with a banana or something. All right, protein powder in the shaker bottle, just like that. Now I'm personally right now using Gold Standard's Optimum Nutrition's Gold Standard Whey Protein. If you use that, great. It's a great protein powder. But if you like something different, let me know in the comments below, because I'm always open to trying new things. All right, now I'm gonna go pack this up, and thank you for joining me for another great round of meal prep, and I will see you next time. If you like this video, like and comment, subscribe, click the notifications button so you never miss another video. I'll be coming out with these periodically and changing up recipes here and there and showing you different workouts, and well, you get the idea. In any case, I will talk to you later. Thanks for joining me, and remember to eat healthy.